Welcome back to another episode of I Hate Insurance with Rick and
The
Parker.
podcast.
Yeah,
The podcast.
the I Hate Insurance podcast. We're back.
Yep.
You've been busy, huh?
You're the one that's delaying this thing, not me.
You've been busy over the weekend at the boat races.
Yeah, we were busy.
Yeah.
Good.
The boat's running good.
So far.
So if people follow you on social media, they've been seeing you talk a lot about True Umbrella,
Yeah.
TRU. So what is that? What is True Umbrella?
Well, I got a lot of little quirky things now, I say. True Umbrella, True Math, True Homeowners. So, when you buy insurance, umbrella, you need to read the fine print and be aware of what you're really buying and how that's going to work in the event of a claim. As I said earlier, it's kind of like buying a Porsche with no engine. You look really good sitting in your driveway, but when you go to drive it and it doesn't go, you're going to be disappointed. So, with a car, you fill it and it's an immediate, response. You got a good one or you got a turd. So with insurance, it's just a piece of paper. So it's easy for people to buy cheap and, again, hope for the best. But as Florida has taught, large numbers of people, but with umbrella policies, it's individual little nightmares because it's not a big event where government gets involved. So you need to buy smart. You need to make good decisions when you're buying whatever, Porsche or insurance. And, as an industry, the insurance industry, to me, is very disappointing because we make unhappy customers and we make lawyers a lot of money. So my new hashtag is...
Bench the lawyers.
Yeah. So, we don't need for people to go to a lawyer. They go to a lawyer because in many cases you miss the opportunity to do the right thing. And if you didn't have insurance and you ran over somebody's foot or whatever, you would admit it and take care of them and be reasonable and try and resolve it because that's the best thing for you and your business. But when you buy insurance, in most cases they have a deductible or something that, they think's going to carve out the small claims, and small claims grow into big claims. Then you report claims late, and then they deny your claim. And again, we're playing right into the legal system's gold mine. That's why the Florida lawyers are, billion-dollar law firms now. It's a big homeowners market, and it's been a crap show for, 50 years now. It's the same thing happening over and over again. So the True Umbrella, what you need to know about umbrellas that you used to buy is they used to drop down and cover things that your homeowners didn't cover, like your dog or a boat or an ATV. Now over the years, because they ended up paying claims that they didn't think they would, they now have become excess. It's not an umbrella. If you have an auto and the homeowners, it's just going to cover above those. The same exclusions apply that the underlying policy has. So it basically, is the excess. They shouldn't be calling it an umbrella anymore. We call it True Umbrella because we customize it for you. And if you have a dog and your homeowners excludes it, we'll drop down. If your homeowners has a limit of $25,000, we cover over the $25,000. Most excess policies, now called umbrellas, require you to have primary coverage and at a limit of at least $500,000. So if you have an excess policy with any of the big people who call them umbrellas, and you have a $25,000 limit on dog bite, your excess policy isn't going to pick that up because you didn't have the $500,000 requirement. And if you ask them to customize it to you, they won't cover firearms. They won't cover your home business. They won't cover your dog. your swimming pool with a diving board,
Your
or
fly
your
board,
trampoline.
your e-foil,
Yeah, any water sports, anything motorized, anything electrical, it's
your dirt bike
outside of
track
that.
in your backyard, your skate ramp.
Right. So we'll cover all that stuff. You have to tell us. We look at it in 3 categories: work, home, and play. What do you do for work? Tell us what that is. You work at an insurance company, you work at 7-Eleven. We're going to cover you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for the things you tell us about. If you have a dirt bike track in your backyard and you don't tell us, then we can't cover it. So, again, it's about being a true partner. You don't hide stuff from each other, right? Most people, as they complete applications and get declined. I mean, I just wrote a brand new MTI for a kid I've known for a couple of years. The app he sends in says he hasn't had any claims, and I know that to be untrue. But he completed the app for another company and got a cheap quote, but its wording said if you've been declined for any insurance or had a claim in the last 5 years, there's no coverage. So lying didn't help him, right? When he submitted the app to us, I told him, write a description of both accidents and tell me about it. It's just like if you buy life insurance and you smoke cigars like me, and you say, no, I'm not a smoker. When you die, the health insurance company, life insurance company, is going to do an autopsy, and they're going to be able to prove you smoked, and they're not going to pay the claim because you significantly changed the risk and didn't disclose it to them. So, again, if you're going to buy coverage, you have to make sure that you buy it in such a way it's going to benefit you. Now, again, I think most people are still able to hire a lawyer, even if they knew they were dishonest going in, and create, more legal bills for everybody. So as an insurance company, we don't want to deal with everybody. If you're looking for cheap insurance, if you're looking for a regular excess policy that they sell to you and call it umbrella, and you don't want it customized and you're never going to have a claim, then we don't want to do business with you because we can't help you. But if you're in a business where you could potentially get sued, or you own property where you could have a fire like Hawaii or California or a storm like Florida, we're going to do true math. We're going to give you everything you need, meaning flood, earthquake, those things that have complicated claims and, complicated. My first storm was Katrina. And it became obvious to me there that you need one policy that does the whole job. It's kind of like being half pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. So if you take people's money and you promise to be there for them when what can happen does happen, you give them everything they need. You don't try and be cheap and exclude flood, which they need. So, many of these people that we review now, if you look at the exclusions, the limitation, the deductible, they're more self-insured than they are actually insured. So, that's something that leads to the next item that's my pet peeve, which is, as an industry, everybody should see the benefit of getting rid of deductibles. Roofing claim, most roofs, most structures now have a 10% storm deductible, which is pretty close to the roof value of a building, and that means that they get to take your money and they're never going to have to pay your roof claim. Well, the system, the roofers and the lawyers all figure out how to play with the numbers. Right? They just overbid the job to help you pay some of your deductible. So deductibles have a way of separating interest, right? Our goal is to partner with people. We don't sell insurance. We offer partnerships where, if you have a $100,000 deductible now, you pay the whole thing. With us, if you have $1 million structure and you have a 10% risk share, if you have a $100,000 claim, you would pay $10,000 versus the $100,000.
And on your worst day, you'd pay $100,000.
Well, on
at
their
10%.
policy.
But on ours too, you'd still pay.
Yeah,
at
but
$1
that's
million.
your worst day.
Yeah, so
And
you're benefiting as a buyer with.
it's better math. It's true math. If you're never going to have a claim, then yeah, the deductible. But most people I know have claims. The other thing that deductibles do is people don't report claims. It's a small claim. You don't report it, whether it's an auto accident or a property. You know, Zane just had a claim, and his agent said, "Don't report it." You know, so everybody's trying to not report stuff, which again separates our interest. When the claim grows above your deductible and you report it late, the insurance company now declines the claim for late reporting, and then you go get a lawyer and sue them because you couldn't report it on time is always what they say, or I reported it as soon as possible. So there's always an argument to be had when you don't think ahead of the ball. If you think ahead of the ball and say, when a claim happens, what are the issues that with good people we can clean up and make happy? With bad people, you can never make them happy. And that's why you have to have the freedom to have flexibility to customize it and charge people accordingly. Most insurance rates, that are filed by admitted companies, there's a 10% credit and a 20% surcharge, and you can't do more than that. They restrict your ability to be flexible. You can't change the coverage unless it's approved forms. So, being an E&S carrier, which has always been like a second class, it's the market of last resort or the hard to place market. I think the value of it has always been misunderstood, and now with the market getting, very difficult in many areas, it's now proving to be the better market. Right? AIG and Chubb, who say they won't write in California anymore because they can't get rate increases, they all have E&S companies. They could just move the business to an E&S company and charge whatever they want. They're putting in for a rate increase of 30%. The department says, no, you can only increase at 8%. So they say, we're leaving the state. Well, they have an E&S company.
Maybe they haven't thought of it. Maybe they will if they listen to the podcast.
I hope they do.
You just gave them an idea.
Well, they should all go E&S, get rid of deductibles, and do an all-in-one policy where you give them everything they need, do true math, true umbrellas, just be a good partner instead of trying to be tricky.
So for buyers that may be interested in a true umbrella or true math with Prime Insurance and X Insurance.com, I mean, with agents and brokers, you always say agents and brokers don't like you. So, I mean, we want people to go to their agents and brokers, but if they don't push our product because they don't like us, why is it that most agents and brokers don't like you? What's
me personally?
Yeah, they don't like. That's what you always say.
They just don't like me.
They don't like you. You smoke too many cigars, or what?
Yeah, that's one thing. So I would say that in Florida, the market down there has been in turmoil for a long time, and everything I've always written has been in turmoil, whether it was recreation, skating rinks, or helicopter ski guides, or trucks. It's the hard piece of the market. And when the market fails them, right, they take their money, and then what could happen does happen, and they cancel them and run away. Guarantee you prices are going up. So, I'm risking my own money. So when you bring me risks and I look at them and, the bucket of money that's available, you look at it and it's like, well, what's draining out of it, right? And that's your cost. What are you paying agents and brokers to bring you business that they can't place anymore? And agents and brokers always want me to pay them what they're historically being paid, which to me, I'm happy to do if we're looking at the dollar number, right? If you got $100 and the rate's doubling, you should still make $100. I'm not trying to take money away from you. In many cases, you're making more because it's going up more than that. But, we pay reduced commissions because agents and brokers and wholesalers do not do the same thing they do for other companies. In most cases, the wholesalers issue the policy, service the policy, act like an underwriter. But they can't do that. They don't have a market for it, so they come to us and we do it. So they're not providing as much service. So again, rather than pay them 20 plus, I try and pay them around 15. And then based on the profitability of their relationship with us, we'll pay them more. So they have skin in the game, right? That's the deal. Everybody should have skin in the game, the insured, the broker, and the insurance company. And when everything's good, everybody ought to do better. With homeowners insurance in Florida, the insureds get screwed, the insurance companies go broke, and the agents keep getting the commissions, and the rates are doubling or tripling. So I'm the bad guy doing true math. I'm offering them the ability to write business that they can't write otherwise and pay them a commission, and if it all works out well, they make more than they wanted. But in the bad years, they shouldn't make the same thing that they do in good years, because I don't, and the insureds don't. So, producers in this business, again, I say the buyers need to make better decisions. The producers need to remember they're a fiduciary and have skin in the game. Offer the right coverage. Make sure your insured understands when a claim occurs, how they're going to be impacted by the decisions they make. And insurance companies, if you don't do your job right and underwrite the risk, make sure you can still pay the claims before you go out of business or leave. So, again, Hawaii's an unfortunate new event. I would say it always could have happened, right? That's how these natural disasters happen. It's not like we can prevent them. They are going to happen. And so when you wrote those premiums there, you should have made sure everybody was insured to the proper value so you can go pay their claim. And you should be out there as soon as possible paying their claim. If you go back to Florida, the headline today was there's still people in Florida that don't have any money from their claim. I know a big brand new hotel down there that has a $23 million claim. They haven't received one penny. And they're insured with Lloyd's of London and many of the biggest companies in the country. Those types of stories hurt their reputation and our reputation as an industry. The claims we've had down there, we've been paying. You and I went down there and flew over the places, and we've been working with every insured, and we've paid them money. First, we pay them the undisputed amount, and then there's always an amount that is moving around, and we move on that as quick as we possibly can. But the sad thing is most people down there haven't been paid anything, or if they have, it's one of our pilots. He had a $500,000 house. He had $200,000 worth of flood, and the homeowners carrier, in my opinion, should have paid him the $500,000 that he had insurance on. They paid him $12,000 because that's all the roof damage he had, but the house is condemned, and the flood carrier paid him like $112,000. So neither policy paid him his limit, and he can't live there. He's living in a trailer park.
Well, and same with our building that we had insured. They paid like nothing on the flood for the elevator. I think they wrote a check for like $3,000. And it was like, if you add up all the premiums we paid over the years for that, I bet it was.
So again, our approach, and the building that we're in, I told them they bought insurance like idiots, and that I would buy it the right way, and it would be an all-in-one policy, and it would cover flood, mudslide, anything that could happen to that building. It's actually called a difference in condition. So you're not going to improve the condition, but you're going to put it back into working order. And again, no deductible. We would share risk, right? But we got to make sure we insure it to the right value. And I believe the building value's $300,000. They say it's only worth $1.5 million. It's not what the building is worth. It's what it would cost to construct that building today of the same like kind, and quality, which is what insurance does, is it puts you back to where you were, not better.
Okay, well, I think that we'll end it there. If anyone has any questions or,
Yeah, why don't you get some topics from people?
yeah, I mean, if
Right.
anyone has any good topics or ideas for us, let us know. Look us up on LinkedIn or any of the social media, Facebook, Instagram. My dad, Rick, is very active on LinkedIn. If you follow him, you know, but yeah, let us know what topics you'd like to hear. And if anyone's interested in the True Umbrella, you can reach out to us or call or ask for me, Parker, or Rick, and our info's online. Thanks, guys.
Our goal here is to change the name eventually to We Love Insurance, but we got to revolutionize the industry and get people to think of it in a new way, because the old ways are growing lawyers and hurting people and ruining, our reputation as an industry. So we got to make better decisions, all of us.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
I hate insurance.